Good morning, June 24th. This is an update on some of the research that we do in the field. For example, this morning it's about 30 degrees Celsius outside, a lovely day. And I've been checking the temperatures in the soil, trying to compare what we're doing with cover crops. If you look here, this is a row that is bare ground. I call it conventional hoeing. If you see the machine here, it shows about 27.3 degrees Celsius, while I have, when I walk here in the cover crops, I have another thermometer that I've set and it shows 17 degrees. There is a big advantage in having cover crops growing here. The cover crops, they always say that they should be low. In the case here, we're trying to keep it fairly low, but we have a lot of white clover, so it's pretty easy to keep low. When a cover crop, however, is kept higher, you will have a lower temperature in the ground. However, the weeds are also able to grow bigger. There is such a thing as like a neighboring happening with the weeds and the cover crops. However, you don't see much of it when you mow. However, when it's up high, they will end up seeding themselves a bit everywhere. So you don't want to have this kind of level. So we're keeping it down. Here, I'm also testing the cover crop at the foot of the trees. So far, so good. When you compare those trees compared to those, they're the same species. There's not much of a difference regarding the size of the canopy and also the color of the leaves. Some of the species, it's starting to show a little bit of a difference because we've only used 25% of synthetic fertilizer in these trees with cover crops. Another element that I'm showing here is that since we are trying to go with less fertilizer, we have to compensate somewhere. And the microbiology in the soil has to be boosted. The field that we are in right now had a pasture in it before, and we are sitting at about 4% organic matter, which is actually twice than the amount that we have in other fields. I'm also using compost tea in order to increase the microbial community in the field. It's a big element having the proper organic matter and microbial community in those fields. That's what will feed the trees. The nutrients, when you analyze the nutrients in the soil, it is present, but very often those nutrients cannot be picked up by the trees. So some of the research that I conduct is trying to figure out the level of microorganisms that can go and feed the roots of the trees. I'll give you another update later on, maybe in a month, and see how the trees are doing.